What's going on, everybody?
Hey, hey. What
Uh,
is up?
if this is a little late, I will take the blame for it. Don't blame both of us.
It's
My
both of
bad.
us.
Well, okay.
It's a
Uh,
show.
First Sunday or first Monday or whatever, first few days of the fucking month. There you go, wrestling. Welcome to First Sunday Wrestling for the month of October, where we're going to talk about all things September in the world of wrestling. I am, of course, one of the hosts of the show. I go by the name of Superjaz,
Superjaz.
as nature intended, or Jazz, SJJT, whatever you want, what have you, and the like. And of course, as always, I am joined by the other host of the show.
Y'all know who it is, what's going on, when it's happening, where it's at, and why we're here today. How you doing? It is I, the sublimely magnificent, big ugly himself, Omari Ellis, feogrande on YouTube, sometimes referred to as Pete on the show, or just channel rather. And yeah, I'm doing good as well.
All right, because I guess it's more than just a show now.
Yeah.
So this is all right. But yeah, so we're gonna talk about here to talk about wrestling. So all the wrestling heads, go ahead, get your popcorn, or plug us in while you're at the gym or while you're at work or whatever, and let's go ahead and get it cracking. And yeah, this has been. I feel like I didn't say it. This has been talked about ad hominem a few times because we talk about stuff that happened, about 30 days ago every time because we do it once a month. But this has been talked about a lot. And we just gonna hop right into it since we talk about it every month. So we missed a little bit of talking about the Elite and CM Punk.
Yeah.
And what happened at the media scrum and CM Punk and whatnot. The one thing I will say is we had, which the entire wrestling world had, speculation as to if what was a work, what was not, what's real, what's fake, shit like that. And I remember last time we talked about, I said that I think that some of what's happening with Punk backstage is real, but some of it is fake with the whole thing. Like, for instance, we talked about the Hangman thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I think that they might not hate each other to the fullest extent they do, but there might be some tension. And now we see, unless this is some big ass fucking elaborate work, and if it is a big elaborate work, I do not understand what the payoff is, where you make a lot of people in the company look this shitty even outside of performing. But CM Punk seems to have really a lot of issues with these motherfuckers, man. Well, yeah, but like all the speculation, like I was saying, if this is a work, which it could be some elaborate work in some weird way, but the thing is, if this is a work, I don't understand who it benefits to make the top star in the company look this much kind of like an asshole, and then make everybody else either look like asshole and jackasses to an extent. So CM Punk might have some, like, legit issues with people.
Yeah, probably. But I still think it's all a work.
You think? I mean,
The whole MJF fiasco turned out to be a work, which we'll get into. But so I'm pretty sure this is a work. I think that's just what AEW does. AEW knows that the dirt sheets love trying to like poke stuff to them. They built their company around pleasing the dirt sheets. They literally have, the Young Bucks literally have a finisher called the Meltzer Driver. They constantly reference people's five-star matches they had, which were given by said Meltzer company and all that shit. Yeah, the MGF thing turned out to be what it was. I'm pretty sure this is turning out the way it is also going to turn out to be a work.
Did you see the media scrum rant?
Yeah, I heard about it. He's just like, I'm tired and I've been around children. And then they got in a fight afterwards. And supposedly Kenny Omega was trying to take a dog out the room and he got bitten.
It's a million stories.
I've heard all the stories about it, but at the end of the day, that's just what they do in AEW. As far as like who it benefits, it's not really supposed to benefit anybody. If anything, it benefits CM Punk's heel turn. because that's the only, like, much like Jericho had to call himself essentially a WWE superstar in order to get people to boo him. This is the only way they're going to get people to boo CM Punk, because CM Punk will probably die before he calls himself a WWE superstar again. So because he hates that company with a fucking passion of 1,000 suns. You say I hate the Patriots, nah, that nigga hates WWE.
He might have a little more reason. I'm just fucking with you.
Nah, the Patriots ruined my life too. Whatever. Bottom line is, I thought it was interesting, but I'm pretty sure it's a work. Kenny came back from an injury for like all of 2 days. All of like 2 days, 2 matches to have, against to win the title with the Young Bucks, just enough so they can say, haha, we did it. Now you can go back to recovering from your fucking injury. CM Punk came back to wrestle long enough to win the title and then go back to actually recover from his injury. Which I don't know why they bothered him winning if that was all they were going to do. That's my thing. Like, just have Mox beat him and let him keep recovering from his fucking injury.
Yeah, as people have been kind of saying, them playing hot potato with the title for a minute wasn't a good look, because it was like Punk won the thing and then unfortunately got injured, so Mox had it for a minute, and it was the summer of Mox when it was supposed to be the summer of Punk. Okay, cool. Punk came back, won the thing, then Mox won it back, then Punk won it, and it was like, it was like, come on now, what are we? That was a little like, because I mean, come on. If there is a wrestler of the year, at least wrestler of the year in AEW, it's got to be Jon Moxley.
You don't think they're going to give it to, like, I don't know, anybody else?
What other name could you possibly give it to?
I haven't watched close enough, but some people might get mad if Moxley wins it. Whereas, do they split it up based off of genitalia with the categories, or like with the best wrestler of the year? Like, is there best male or best female?
I mean, I've only when I've been seeing people talking about it, I've been seeing people talking about it more conversationally. So I don't necessarily know if it would be like in a more statistical fashion for like an official thing.
Because while I wouldn't necessarily pick her over Mox, I can't sit here and deny that what's her name's been undefeated all year. Jade. Okay. No, Jade is not a bad pick. The thing is... And she's been growing in popularity and stuff like that.
That's not a bad pick.
And people always bitch about the female wrestlers not getting enough respect. And if AEW is listening, they can do that.
I mean, I'll give you that. At first, like I said, Dax Harwood was my pick, even over Mox, even when Mox was doing his thing.
FTR with their like 80,000 belts.
He was still my pick, even over like Moxley. The thing is, they kind of after FTR was having an amazing career-defining year, and still somewhat is. This last few 2 months or so, they kind of trailed off and ain't been doing much with it. Meanwhile, Moxley
AEW fans are the ones who wanted the Acclaim to be holding the belts. So,
but I mean, even before that, they just kind of were like, all right, FTR, that's nice.
No, it looked like they might be going up against Lee and Swerve, but then they decided to do the whole thing where we'll let them hold the titles a bit longer. We'll have them beat the Acclaim at All Out, and that'll be good. But the crowd was like, no, we want the Acclaim to have the titles now, which goes right back to the whole bipolarity of fans. Oh, they played hot potato with the championship, where you have Mox, who's a 3-time championship now because of these hot potato things. We wanted Lee and Swerve to lose their title after a week to the Acclaimed because scissors. Haha.
What, are you gonna tell me you don't like the Acclaimed?
I'm saying that I like them, but I don't think they are necessarily I'm saying that had nothing to do with not liking the Acclaim. It's more like you want everybody to win the championship until they do. Then you immediately want it on somebody else. And if that somebody else isn't who you like, it was the worst thing ever.
I agree. The wrestling fandom, a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times we some fickle motherfuckers. Like, I watch battle rap. You think wrestling is fickle? Battle rap fandom, them motherfuckers, they always say you're only as good as your last battle, because just battle rap, for instance, if you keep up with that, people who didn't put in over a decade of work, they had one semi-bad showing in a match, so-and-so was never shit. And it's like, what? So that's even worse. But I know exactly what you mean, because the wrestling fandom is kind of right up there, yeah.
And congrats to the Acclaim for finally winning it. Nothing against them being the champions. It's just more like people turned on Lee and Swerve for winning that match. Like they were booing the shit out of him during the match and were booing him because he didn't want a scissors till after the match or whatever. Which
whatever. And then one of the main parts that everybody turned on him was I forget who pinned who, but someone from Swerve in Our Glory. No, somebody from the Acclaim was pinning somebody from Swerve in Our Glory, and there was a kick out after 2, but they thought that it was a 3 count, and the crowd even goes 1, 2, 3. But if you watch, it really was a kick out at 2. So when a crowd goes 3, and then they didn't ring the bell, and they were like, no, everybody was like, boo, because they thought that they they were like, yeah, they got it. No, they didn't. My thing with that was, because I thought about it too. Swerve in Our Glory up to All Out. Swerve in Our Glory's reign was semi-short, but it wasn't super duper crazy short, but it was semi-short. I would have had more of an issue with the championship being like overturned or turned over to the Acclaimed if they didn't have a few defenses leading up to it. Mm-hmm. So at least they had some defenses leading up to it here and there, so it wouldn't just be like, and gave it to you, you transitional bitches. It was just like, no, okay.
And at least with the Moxley winning the title again, if anything, that's just more he shouldn't have lost it to Punk for the 1 week he did. But at the end of the day, it wasn't that bad of a hot potato thing. It was literally...
It wasn't as bad as it could have been.
Hot potato, like, you want hot potato with championships, you go to the other company. They like playing fucking hot potato with the championships. And then they don't. Until they didn't. And then, you've had Roman as the only champion for, like, the past 3 years. Okay.
Yeah, about to be modern day Bruno Sammartino. Rest in peace. I think is that rest in peace? Is he alive?
I have no idea.
Let me not say rest in peace for somebody who may still be alive. If he is, either way, shout out to Bruno Sammartino either way. Yeah. But no, like my thing with the match with Swerve in Our Glory and Acclaim, they stole the show. Shout out to the Acclaimed. I'm digging what they've been doing. I really am happy for them dudes, because they went from being like an afterthought on AEW Dark to working up their way on Rampage.
Yeah, congrats to them.
Stealing the show on Dynamite and make the crowd wants them to win the main belts. And that match was match of the night at All Out. At an otherwise, if I'm being honest, aside from something here and there, a lackluster All Out. I'm just gonna be honest. So the fact that happened, the only thing that I didn't like about how people reacted to Swerve in Our Glory and the Acclaim match at All Out, not Grand Slam, the only thing I didn't like was everybody was like, they should have called an audible. And it's like, I mean, maybe, but no, it wasn't so bad that they had to call an audible. You heard the crowd reaction, call an audible. It's like, let them win the title, and then the Acclaim can win it a little ways down the road. You call an audible when it's like some fucking Daniel Bryan versus the Authority shit back in fucking, what was it, 2013?
Yeah.
Leading to WrestleMania 30, where every fucking night the crowd was wrong.
What are you playing with?
Oh, I was wrestling this.
Ah, okay.
No, my bad. I forget that it's like my laptop mic, so it's like down here. But no, every fucking night or like you just hearing yes, 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 Daniel O'Brien, and it was obvious they didn't want him to be picked, but they had to overturn it, and that's pretty much where the term hijacking Raw came from, was damn near around his ass. That's when you call audible type shit, or you call it audible like Stone Cold has said when he turned heel, if he decided, oh shit, this ain't a good idea, he said that Vince basically trusted his instincts for everything because he said that Austin had the best instincts in the business, which, I mean, it's pretty much proven. So he said that he could have just been like, watch the stunner and stunned Vince last second. You call audibles for shit where it's like, it's irrefutable that we go in this direction. And you could say that at that one night that, okay, the Acclaim been building themselves up, and that one night, the way the crowd really got, I mean, oh, Sesame Daddy, like, come on, that was crazy. But I think if they did call it audible, it wouldn't have been bad, but not calling it audible wasn't bad either.
Yeah.
All the people saying, you should have called, no, I don't think it was bad. Now, if they didn't win a Grand Slam, that would have been a little, like, handwriting on the wall. But, what were you saying? But, well, going back before we move on to double back, my 2 cents on the Brawl out shit, to finish off what I was saying. I don't necessarily think, the thing is, before I even say that, I'll say the thing is, it's kind of nice to a point where within the last 2 years or so, we've had several things come out of wrestling where we don't necessarily know how true they are or how fake they are. And it's kind of nice at times to have that, because then that's almost like what makes us love wrestling is we know this shit is fake, but we don't know how we don't know how fake the fake is and how real the real is. And that kind of adds to the fun part, because shit, the pipe bomb back in the day, we didn't know, like, oh shit, you know, that thing, Matt, Edge, and Lita, you know, that was crazy, you know, based on real shit, but we didn't know, like, you know, Matt yelling Ring of Honor and calling them by their real names and shit, so that was good. So it's nice to have that. Like I said, I look at this, and at the end of the day, this could be one big-ass elaborate work, and I haven't 100% ruled that out. The only thing, like I said, is why bring back one of the, like, biggest stars in the company to team him with 2 other big stars in the company, and then all of them go away, and then you lose 4 of your fucking stars, and then the biggest star in the company, you make him look like, to an extent, like a big-ass fucking asshole. And it's just like, that's the thing. I'm like, is this real or not? Because it's just, because if you do ever see the rant, I'm not saying that whatever CM Punk was talking about may or may not have had some merit to it. It just didn't seem like the time or place, especially the way he was going about it. So it made him, it made him look like a dick. So that's why I'm just like, if this is a big ass elaborate work.
Well, it makes the Elite look like dicks too with this whole story, because there are a lot of people that are siding with Punk because he's CM Punk, and at the end of the day, the man's untouchable. So it is what it is.
Yeah, no, I agree. It makes all of them look. It made Punk look like probably the worst just on camera, because everything else we heard stories, but we saw him. But it make everybody look bad. Yes, I agree. And I just don't know why you would make 4 of, like, your big star power, like, especially one of them just came back, and you make them all look like jackasses.
Because people thrive on controversy.
Shout out to Eric Bischoff. It creates cash. What's his name? Speaking of star power, though, and speaking of All Out, one of the people fucking returned, and like you said, in what could be another big-ass, elaborate-ass work, but MJF came back.
Yeah.
Do you think MJF is ever going to be face?
No.
Never? You think he'll just be a heel?
Not truly.
Yeah, okay. You don't think he'll ever lean into it?
No.
Because this
character doesn't work if he does.
The times that we have seen MJF give face promos, right? Long Island is Bizarro World, because that's where they cheer the shot of him, because that's his home. So he went to Long Island. He gave a very face promo, and he gave a fake face promo the Dynamite after All Out before he said "fuck these fans." The times we've seen him do face-ish stuff, he's shown he can do it. So what I want is if CM Punk comes back, what I want, because of how everything went down, and everybody's saying, which I agree, CM Punk cannot return as a face. He's gonna have to be a heel. Mm-hmm. And the way that MJF came back and everybody's cheering him, even when he's saying shit like y'all gonna drink my spit and all this crazy shit, right? I want them to like redo this feud, but CM Punk be the bad guy and MJF be the good guy. So we redo the feud that they had, feud of the year, by the way, it had to be. But they redo the feud, but this time MJF is good and CM Punk is bad. That would be fucking crazy. I think MJF somewhere down the line might turn face.
He might. I mean, even The Miz had a face run. That said, people say it was one of his weakest times as a character. And when MJF inevitably does it, that's what's going to happen. Because his character, he's not a Miz ripoff, but he's definitely in the same vein.
Shit, who was it that called him less effective Miz or watered down Miz or
somebody?
Shit like I think it was CM Punk or somebody called him that shit.
Might have been.
Because then Edge even said it on Raw that day. People on other shows are saying your name just to get a reaction. Like Edge even said that shit too.
Yeah.
But no, man. I mean, MJF, he's fucking star power.
Yeah, star power, gonna be at the top of the company. Sometimes people will love to cheer. They will love to hate him. Like, he'll definitely get to a love to hate type thing if he's not already there. Right. But I don't see him as a face. Like, at least not one for a long time, because his whole thing, the I'm better than you and you know it, in and of itself, is not a face.
Fuck no.
And he's not tried to be face at all since coming back, despite the fact that people cheered when they saw him on an All Out. He this week was talking shit to Wheeler Yuta and talking about how he hates Philly and all this other shit. So he's still a heel. That's just how his character is. How
did you think Yuta did? I'm glad that they're giving Yuta some time, like they're giving him the ball to run with to see how well he does. How did you think Yuta did in his little back and forth he's had with MJF?
What little I've seen of it being this past week, I think it's fine. I was just saying, like earlier, that your favorite, Daniel Garcia, I was talking with my roommate about it, and I'm like, what do you think about him? He's like, very great wrestler, but he's boring. He's just some dude.
Daniel Garcia...
He's just some dude. And so that's fine. And not even like the Eddie Kingston some dude where at least, you know, he's crazy and funny. He's just, he's okay. He's a great wrestler. Again, he's a great wrestler. 5-star matches are in his future. He's a better wrestler than I'll ever be, blah, blah, blah. He's a success, whatever. I can have an opinion saying that he's boring. Bottom line is he was boring. But I was like, then again, they're looking like they might add him to the William Regal group. And that did wonders for Yuta, so I'm sure it'll give his character some more personality to stand out. Like, Eddie Kingston is like some dude that walks about the street, but Eddie Kingston, at least, the character is, oh, here's an angry New Yorker dude or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like, he fits some kind of archetype that sets him apart from random dude on the roster. Daniel Garcia is a fantastic wrestler. He just needs a little bit more character work. Now, to be fair to dudes, probably knowing AEW and how they like to hire, dude's probably like 21 or some shit. So he's got time to get older and grow. I think 23. Okay, there you go. So he's like fucking Jungle Boy, where there's clearly something there, but they gotta come into their own.
So this whole are you a wrestler? Are you a sports entertainer? Stuff.
We'll see where it goes.
No. What I'm saying is, it hasn't been super interesting to you.
It's been like there's been good matches, but I cared more about Chris Jericho fighting Daniel Bryan than I do Chris Jericho fighting Daniel Garcia.
That's fair. I mean, like I said, I
Now,
think
we
that
talk 10 years from now, maybe he's pulling the Roman Reigns in AEW. He's had the championship for 5 years, hasn't been pinned except by some dude who followed up that victory by being a bum for 6 months. Maybe. Last person to pin Roman Reigns, to my knowledge, was Baron Corbin.
oh yeah, we I feel like you mentioned that at least once every first Sunday wrestling podcast. Because as you started saying it, I was like, oh yeah. But no, I was just gonna say, like, it just goes to show again that different strokes for different folks, and people entitled to their own opinion. Because I think the most captivating storyline on the show right now is what side is Daniel Garcia gonna pick, and I think that it's showing how good Garcia is.
It's a good storyline. I don't think of it as like I gotta see what happens next week, because maybe it's just me, but I feel like this happens all the time anyway with this. Are you gonna be in the heel faction or are you joining the faces? Obviously, he's going to join the faces at some point. So that's all I was saying. It's not so much are you a wrestler or a sports entertainer? Obviously, he's in AEW, so he's against the idea of sports entertainment. And that's one of those things where I'm like, okay, let's be honest. But
I mean, it's obvious where it's going.
Every time you have a group that, especially when they get to like supersized, you have that one guy that doesn't like what's happening, and he's gonna leave to become a face. Hell,
I mean, they did it
with Chris Jericho. They did it with Chris Jericho and Sammy, even though Sammy then got in an IRL relationship with Tay Conti and was an IRL heel, and they just said, well, fuck it, if you're gonna be a heel anyway, just put you back with Jericho.
They tried to make him a face, and the fans were like, no, fuck
They did it with Wardlow. They that's what they do. That's what they do, and I guess that's why I'm not as captivated as you said. But no, the dude's a great wrestler. I don't necessarily like hearing him talk. Or
that's what I'm saying. If you're not
hearing him talk either. I don't really have an opinion on the guy. Like, if I were to describe Daniel Garcia to somebody, like, he's a good wrestler dude and I just mentioned what the storyline is.
I'll give you that his character isn't super defined yet, but I feel like he's defining it at the moment. But I think that
give us a couple of years, he'll probably be fucking.
I just like again,
I don't fucking know.
Again, you're entitled to your opinion. I just, like I said, I think that his mic work is great, and I was thinking it was great, a month or two ago when they first started doing it, and we had this conversation less in depth than we are now. So, but I am liking the: are you a sports entertainer? Are you a wrestler? BCC, JAS, Bryan Danielson, Chris Jericho, thing. And Jericho called himself the BC. Jericho always finds ways to reinvent himself, which is crazy, man. This man comes out now, won the Ring of Honor title, which is his 8th world title. So now he's the Ocho. This is like, Jericho, you did it again. You motherfucker, you. Motherfucker going around talking about putting fireballs in people's face. You know what that shit was? And I don't have it confirmed. Yeah, I don't have it confirmed what it was, but it had to just fucking be flash paper.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm not gonna, like, he's in interviews like, I'm not gonna tell anybody how I do it. It's like, Jericho, you took out flash paper that magicians use.
Yeah.
You quickly took out your lighter, lit the shit, and then ditched your lighter real quick. Like, it's like stupid, but it's still great. What are we talking about? Okay. What do you think about Chris Jericho being the one to dethrone what's his name, Claudio Castagnoli for the Ring of Honor title?
Not a fan, but whatever. I guess they're trying to bring it into more of a bigger audience and stuff. Yeah, let people know Jericho's the championship.
If you think about it, the main reason that not everybody, but a lot of people gave a shit about AEW in the first place was that Jericho was there.
Mm-hmm.
So And then the first person they gave the title to was Jericho, which made an ass load of sense.
Yeah.
So they're like putting another company on Jericho's back, and he's been here before, and he's more than confident to do so. I like it for the storyline reasons, because you got somebody basically claiming to be everything that Ring of Honor isn't, stand for everything that Ring of Honor isn't, holding the main title and talk about fuck this company. I don't like that Claudio got sacrificed for it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I don't like, is that they sacrificed Claudio for that reason, because that was Claudio's like first main title.
Yeah.
In any company is somewhat of a second-rate title now. Because Ring of Honor hasn't had his own thing. So somewhat, and then he ends up losing it. But it was, sacrificial lamb type shit.
Yep.
So I get it. I don't know. I hope that Claudio doesn't get lost to the wolves, but I don't think they'll do that though. What was I gonna say? Oh, double back again. For me, like I said, the Willer Yuta MJF thing, I like that they're giving Yuta the ball to run with. I do halfway think that putting someone who's not necessarily a talker up against possibly the best, definitely one of the best talkers in the business, or at least in your company, Yuta got exposed a little bit. So it's kind of... So I was like, hey. I mean, there was some good stuff about the second segment. The first time that they met, I think it was at Grand Slam, and they started talking when he attacked Shivani. Yuta looked bad in that shit. Now, when MJF was in the skybox and Yuta attacked them, he looked better. So it's like, yeah. But you got somebody who's not a big talker versus somebody who's probably the best.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, it's like if I start training in track, and I started training the, track, and I started doing pretty good, and I trained for, half a year, maybe even a year. And then you're like, all right, we're going to have you run a race against Usain Bolt. It's like, thanks for giving me the opportunity, but I might come up short. So, yeah, I don't know. It wasn't that bad, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What was I going to say? A certain someone came back and brought, speaking of star power, a certain level of star power to AEW, going by her real name. Saraya has now debuted in AEW.
Yep.
My thoughts on this is, one, I'm just happy to see her, bro. Because, I mean, come on. The only thing that I would have done a little bit different about her debut, because I was watching it with Ibn, shout out to my brother. The only thing I would have done a little different about her debut, and they didn't do the debut bad, but when they were having a beat down in the four-way, and all this shit, before her music hit and they put the name up, I would have had over the loudspeaker somebody yell, or her yell, "This is my house," and then the music, bruh, I'd have lost my shit. But I mean, otherwise, no. The debut was great. The way she walked out, the little.
Wait, whose house?
This is my house.
But I thought it was Swerve's house.
Ron's house.
I thought it was Swerve's house.
It's so funny. I saw Swerve, and I guess I ain't trying to talk about him, but I saw Swerve on an interview. I think it was AEW Unrestricted, and he was like, some football player was like saying, whose house, whatever his name was, house. And Swerve was like, did he get that? Dude? And I'm thinking to myself, no offense to you, Swerve, but did you not know that the first time that really got big was whose house? Say what? Run's house. What? Which was Run DMC back in the day.
Yeah.
I'm like, no offense to you, Swerve, in the slightest, but you didn't make that up. Like you weren't the first person.
Oh no, I'm not trying to say that she stole it from him. She was saying, "This is my house" years ago.
Right.
But
I'm
it's
not. I'm
just
not
funny that she's
taking pity
like,
party.
"This is my house." I'm like, but I thought this
I
one
thought it
was
was
Swerve's
Swerve's
house. Yeah, that's all. That was just meant to be a corny joke. I'm not taking anything away from her.
I know you're not. I know you're not. I know you're not.
Yeah,
It
welcome
took me
back.
down memory lane.
Welcome back. Let's see if you're still good at wrestling or whatever.
I hope she
That
gets.
whole 7 year break thing didn't work out too well ring wise for Punk. He got injured once he finally had like a title match because, trying to shake off all the ring rust.
He got injured, and then when he recovered, got injured quickly after that again.
Yeah, so those 7 year breaks can kill you. That said, welcome back. We'll see what happens.
It didn't do too bad for Mr. Austin when he had 19. So shit.
I mean, fair. His opponent was who was his opponent? Kevin Owens. All right, yeah. Kevin Owens is a good opponent. And then he stunned Pat McAfee the following night. That's what it was.
The difference is though the match that the CM Punk had against MJF, and then the match or Moxley for that matter, and then the match that Austin had against Kevin Owens was nowhere near comparable in the brutality.
No, or physical requirement.
Yeah, nowhere near. Now, I mean, of course, the first time Punk supposed to have really injured himself was doing a stage dive. So, I mean, but still, no. Like again, I'm glad to see Paige back, man. Saraya, and I mean, she just like did a huge shot in the arm to the women's division as far as star power. Speaking of ex WWE women, I hope that they kind of build Athena back up because they were doing that for a second. But I think what messed that up was Statlander got injured, so they had to kind of forget about the storyline they were building. That's somebody that unfortunately has injuries here and there. Statlander, yeah, she is captivating when she can be in there. But the biggest thing everybody's curious about too is like, is she going to take a more authoritative type role, or is she going to actually be cleared to wrestle? Because everybody knows what, unfortunately happened to her injury wise, in her like short career, which by the way is crazy that Paige made so much headway in a short amount of time. Shout out to her. But it's like, is she going to wrestle or is she going to be an authority figure? Because the promo that she did, this like, at the Grand Slam and this past Dynamite was very kind of like authority figure type, the promo.
Yeah.
And she's proven that she can be an authority figure type, like archetype or whatever. So it's like, will she be, and she's also proven herself in the ring. So it's like, will she be authority? Will she be in the ring? I would love her to be in either position,
yeah,
or both for that matter. I hope that we get to see her in the ring since it's been so long since we've seen her, period, let alone see her wrestle. But my thing is, if they clear her to wrestle, I don't want it to be one of those that we cleared her, but then, oh no, something happened again, and it was like, oh shit. No, I want it to be, she got cleared, and it's on some fucking Daniel Bryan shit where not only did she get cleared to wrestle, but she can do the craziest of the crazy, and it's all good. So it's like, either she get cleared to wrestle and that happens, or I'd rather just, for the sake of the actual person, take my selfishness as a viewer out of it. I'd rather, for the sake of the actual person, if she's not 100%, even if she feel 90, don't risk it just for our enjoyment.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, who am I to tell a grown person what to do? But I don't want to be like, selfish in that sense of, well, if she's feel good, to let her do it. No, like, make sure it's straightforward. She's good. God damn it. But like I said, man, it was great to see her ass. Me and Ibn watching this shit, and when they were doing the beatdown and everything, shout out to Britt's bloody nose. She which happens a lot.
Yeah.
But they were doing the beatdown, and there was like, it was kind of like lingering on that moment. And I was there. I was like, man, if I hear this is my house. I even was eating some food and I put it down. I said, if I hear this is my house, I'm gonna lose my shit. If I hear this is my house, I'm gonna lose my shit. Now we didn't hear this is my house, but I still lost my shit. So yeah. Now I will say you don't have to respond. You can say whatever you want if you want to. We are having a conversation. But I am somewhat in the ballpark of what a lot of people are, where they say that I got happy, but only up to a certain point, because we have somewhat seen what AEW has done with the women's division. So it's like, is she just going to kind of be an afterthought and pushed to the side? Or is this actually going to be a shot in the arm, and they're really going to, when she even said, we're going to make changes to this division, is that really going to be truthful? Or was that, kind of to tell people like my ass to shut the fuck up? So, I don't know. You have any thoughts?
Welcome back. Regardless of whether or not she should, it's AEW, so she's probably going to wrestle again.
What I'm talking about.
They don't care over there. And yeah, but you do make a good point about the whole mistreating women thing, so I'm not even going to get into that. You right, wave your flag. They don't treat the women superstars with any respect over there. Sure. But yeah, she's back. Cool. I'm pretty sure we'll see her in the ring. I thought it was cool to see her back, and I was like,
it was so good to see her back.
Mm-hmm. So we'll just see. Paige here.
Well, so if it was saying that somebody online said it, and I gotta agree. She said, first thing she said on the mic was, "I'm back," which was cool.
Yeah.
But if it said that somebody online said, and man, I would have laughed, and everybody in the arena would have got it. She should have said, "Saraya here."
Yeah. Yeah. I sent my friend a GIF of the face that she like makes for the Paige here thing when she came out, and I was just like, yeah, that. So I thought that was funny, but yeah, we'll see where that goes. I don't really have a problem with it.
I'm just again, like I said, I'm just glad to see her, man. Like I just, I mean, I have said before though, man, women's division, men's division, the entirety of AEW, I've said from the jump though, if everybody goes to the promised land, and we're seeing this now to an extent.
Yeah.
If everybody goes to the promised land, then there starts to be less room for people to just be there and do shit.
You run out of resources.
A lot of people been pushed to the side, and it was a big deal when they got there, and then it was just like, and no. And it's like, so I don't know, like, I didn't know who Brian Cage was when he debuted, but a lot of people did. Where's Brian Cage? Like, just for instance, like, it just, so I don't know.
Well, the problem is they found an answer to his question. Who else but Cage? The answer is like actually a huge ass list of who else, because they keep hiring a who else every month.
That's like if you have a catchphrase like that, then it's like, don't get mad if you get an answer.
Yeah.
Like rest in peace to Canyon. Rest in peace to Canyon. But if they would have had a Canyon now, who better than Canyon? And it'd be like, well,
yeah.
or Goldberg, like, who's next? And be like, well,
let's see. Oh, well, we get an answer to that every week.
Right. Oh shit. Speaking of returns, man, there's another dude that returned that it was speculated would return, and then he actually did return.
I'm surprised you have a picture signed by him, but that's awesome.
Yeah. I got this when I went to my first Comic-Con in Detroit, actually. I believe I may have told the story on the main Whatever We Want podcast, but
You might have. I forget that you actually liked Braun Strowman.
yeah, I love Braun Strowman.
I figured you and Ibn both hated him because he was too boring. All he does is yell Berg and run forward.
No, I love Braun Strowman.
Oh, okay.
I love characters who do shit like that.
As do I. Because
I know you love characters who do shit like that. But no, I love characters who do shit like that. No, I was gonna say basically the whole thing was I got a good friend of mine, him and his mom go to Comic-Cons around the country, and his mom, because one of the attractions that they have celebrities, and his mom, as they were starting to put the celebrities up, because before they announced everybody, she was kind of like, I'm not really feeling all these people. I'm not feeling this, feeling that, blah, 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 blah. And he said, do you mind if I ask Jazz? And she was like, of course not. And he called me up and was like, hey, Jazz, so I got a proposition for you. You want to come and do this? And I was like, why would I say no? You already have a ticket bought. I have the money. Why would I say no? And then they had VIP tickets. So shout out to them. So I had to wait in the line with shit.
Yeah.
So no, it was dope. That was when he was still Adam Sure, because that was over the summer.
Okay.
I think it might have been April, actually. But anyway, yeah. No, I love Braun Strowman, man. And then, I mean, shout out to him too, because it is in the amount of time from when he was doing it a few years ago to now, my man got cut.
Yeah.
Slimmed up, got cut, buffed up. He was already huge. Now he's huge and jacked as to all shit.
Yeah.
Like, good for you, bro. Like,
he didn't have Vince in his ear saying, don't lose any more weight. Which apparently happened to him the first time, because there was a time during his original run where he was getting like more and more cut and stuff. And apparently, because I remember they mentioned it on a table for 3 episodes with him, Alexa, and Ember. And he was like, yeah. They were like, but you were doing so good. Then he's like, well, yeah, I gotta bulk back up a bit because Vince saw me. He was like, you look great. Don't lose any more weight. Because I guess he had a certain look in mind for Braun Strowman. And he's like, you need to stay bigger and bulkier for the character.
I mean, I guess to an extent what Vince is saying, like, you wanted him to be more of an imposing figure. But I would say a huge, super, like, tall, muscular motherfucker that's also cut as hell and jacked to the gills, that's scary too.
Yeah, it is. But, we already have Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, well, now we got Brock Lesnar. No, let me not say that. That's fantastic.
No. Now we got Braun Lesnar.
That's better. I'll put in the chat what I was going to say. We keep talking about.
Yeah, so I was happy to see that. With the car being flipped over right before he got there. Okay, I mean, what's wrong with saying Brock Lesnar light? Do you know how many times I've said Black Lesnar on camera talking about Bobby Lashley, who I also enjoy?
You caught yourself though when you were gonna say the Ronda Rousey, which I'm glad you did. The Lesnar Ronda when you were about to make a joke one time. But you did. I'm glad you didn't say that one.
Why not?
Don't say that shit.
She's called herself that
word.
Don't
say that shit
on camera.
All our viewers, I'm sorry y'all don't get to know what we talk about, but y'all don't get to know what we talk about. Not this one.
I was going to say it now.
Anyway.
I haven't seen her wrestling, though, so I don't know if her promos changed from, meanie face, I'm the baddest bitch on the planet, to something else. So maybe it doesn't fit anymore. But yeah, no, I like Braun. I was happy. I saw the car flipped over, and I thought, because I wasn't gonna watch that Raw. I haven't watched the Raw in full outside of that one, and even then, I didn't watch the whole damn episode. But I saw the opening. I'd seen clips about the Miz and Loomis and all this stuff, which I'm fine with. But I saw the car flipped over, and it's like, dude, you don't think. Like, my roommate's like, you don't think it's who we think it is. I'm like, but he doesn't have a problem with the Miz. Dexter Lewis wouldn't flip a car, but Braun's not really. Why would he come back to fight The Miz? The Miz is dealing with Loomis. But then, sure enough, come back from the commercial break. We got us a 4-way tag match, and of course, who else to kill the tag division by himself?
By himself. You know what?
It's what he do.
What he do? I love you said what he do. No, you know what he do. You know what we need? You talk about kill the tag division by himself. We should have him kill the tag division by himself, but then have a cameo from Nicholas.
Oh yeah, no. If Nicholas comes back and they win the title again, because Nicholas might be close to old enough now.
I mean, what? He was like 9 when that shit happened.
Well, I said close to.
Well, no, he was 9 when it happened. And it's been maybe 3 years, so he would be.
Oh, it's only been 3 years.
It was 34, and that was 37, wasn't it? Like we just had 37 this year, wasn't it?
I don't know. Let's see.
I know it was 34 when it happened, because I remember because you can go back far enough on this channel to when we started at WrestleMania 34 with me talking about 34 got me back into wrestling. Namely, The Rock and Ronda Rousey versus Triple H and Stephanie. And it was WrestleMania 34. I saw how good that match was, and I wanted to start watching wrestling again, and we started doing the podcast. And so it would have only been 3 years. And if he was 9, 3 years, he'd only be 12. So,
let's see. What the fuck?
What the fuck, what?
19. No, that's a different Nicholas, damn it.
What the fuck are you looking at?
2018. John Cone's son Nicholas shocked the wrestling world in 2018. Okay, so yeah, that's about 4 years.
So he'd be 13 then.
Yeah. Nicholas won the thing. 10-year-old, so he's 14 now.
Okay.
So yeah, he's still got some time, but eventually he needs to come in there alongside that former Make-A-Wish kid who's still alive, so he's fine. Yeah, they just come in as the most entitled heels you've ever seen.
Because you said the Make-A-Wish kid who's like in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer already. He's already been saying stuff like that. When someone saw the Usos dapping him up, they're like, Usos dap up fan that thing. And he's like, that's WWE. He tweeted back, he's like, that's WWE Hall of Famer. First off, not some random fan. And I'm like, hey, keep that energy. Keep that energy, get jacked, get into wrestling, be a heel. I need this.
You've been saying that, man. If 10 years from now your dream actually comes to true.
I want a Nicholas Make-A-Wish kid tag team. Sorry, I don't remember Make-A-Wish kid's name. But
I don't know his name either. It was a black kid. He had like charisma out the ass.
Mm-hmm.
Because Nicholas, I've said before, Nicholas is the youngest WWE champion, period.
Yeah.
Whatever championship. And I don't know how they will ever beat that record.
Yeah.
Who's going to win a championship younger than 9?
The next kid Braun takes out of the fucking crowd. Just grabs a baby, sits it on the steps. That's my tag partner.
And then right before the match is over, he goes ahead, picks up the baby. That's the tag. After the opponent's beaten up, and just puts the baby on top. Baby just like 1, 2. So the baby gets the pin. Like Braun did the heavy lifting, but the baby gets the pin.
Exactly.
Now, man, the Triple H era, like I said, it's nice to see.
That is pretty much the same.
It's definitely like been some changes here and there, but it is looking pretty much the same. I give you that, definitely. I was gonna say it's nice to see all the people who seemingly got unjustly released. A lot of the big names come back. That's nice. So I mean, and then one of them being Braun Strowman. Speaking of one of them coming back, possibly coming back, speculated to come back. This ain't in the notes, but I know you've been hearing about this White Rabbit shit.
Yeah.
What do you think about it?
I just thought about this now. Maybe it's the Bray Wyatt thing people said. Maybe it's someone which a White Rabbit would actually make sense and have been referenced by. But then I just thought about it like, well, it's WWE. So you can always count. You always got to account for the last second disappointment.
And that's
is any wrestler wrapped up with this White Rabbit shit, or is it just a generic threat right now?
So right now, everything that they've been doing, everywhere they've been having it, there's nothing to specifically, no signs to specifically point to anyone. Like there's speculations you can pull out here and there, and they probably do correlate. But
actually, you know what? I could see Randy Orton like getting pissed off, thinking it's Bray because he burned his house down, and now he's doing all this shit. And then, like, certainly after Ray gets here, the White Rabbit thing comes out. Here comes the dude, and he turns around. It's me, Orton! Ah, son of a bitch! It was me all along, Orton! And y'all fell for it! You thought an allegation would keep me out of my own company? The Triple H era? It's me, damn it!
Oh, you mean Vince?
Yes!
Oh, shit.
It was me all along!
And then,
I could totally see Vince doing something like that. I don't think it will happen. Yeah, I don't think it will happen. I do like what I've been hearing about Michael Cole just being like, I can say what I want now to people, because apparently he's been that way on commentary. He's just like, fuck it. Vince is gone. I'm saying what I want. These motherfuckers wrestled in Japan in 1995. They had so-and-so matches in Mexico. All these other companies that, yes, do exist. I'm going to talk about all this
That's
shit.
The biggest thing WWE does. They act like other companies don't exist. Like, until they started acknowledging TNA, which with AJ Styles they fucking had to, but until they did, they were doing shit like I said before. They were doing shit like with Booker T. Booker T wrestled up to a point, and then he just stopped. And then years later, he came back. It's like, so he didn't do shit. For 5-6 years, Booker T just said, no, motherfucker.
Like he wasn't in TNA fucking commentating his own matches. And yeah, Booker gonna go over here and he's gonna step on him. Oh yeah, it doesn't mean stop. Go stop on him again. Like I love that that's the voice he put on for his commentary. For his like commentary. Yeah, I'm coming out here. Booker T is gonna go in there.
Until the Hardy Boys came back. They were like, yeah, Matt and Jeff wrestled for us, and then they just stopped. And then over 10 years later, they returned.
Yeah, they took a break.
For 10 years, motherfucker?
I mean, CM Punk took a break for 10 years.
Well, CM Punk took a fucking forced break because of his own beliefs.
I was like, it wasn't forced. I was like, it wasn't forced. Nigga took off.
That motherfucker said, I'll cut my arm off before I joined WWE, goddammit. Yeah. No, man. Like I said, Triple H, the White Walls say the White Rabbit thing. I haven't seen firsthand, like, scan the QR code myself or no shit like that. But everything that I've been hearing about it, and then I've been seeing people do, like, videos where they say, like, this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened. Again, I always say, shout out to Steven Larson. Steven Larson has his own channel called Wrestle Juice, where he actually, like, talks about the White Rabbit stuff and what's been happening, and actually said, I was like, oh, that's some cool shit. Because they even had the 9:23 thing, and at 9:23 or 8:23 Central, it was supposed to be some crazy shit was gonna happen on SmackDown.
And it was a commercial break. Hilarious.
But what happened before that, which I was like, huh? And Steve of Steven Larson was like, this couldn't have been coincidental. Was he had Drew McIntyre, Karrion Kross had Drew McIntyre in a like a chokeout, and then he looked right in the camera and said, you fell for this. This is what we wanted. Which might have been them kind of like, he was like, this can't be coincidence. They looked at the camera, and for anyone who was like audience-wise was in on it, like looking for something, this was their way of like kind of winking and being like, gotcha. And I was like, that's some clever shit. So yeah. But they used Karrion Kross as the vessel for that. And it was so innocuous seeming that if you didn't know about it, it wouldn't take you out the show. I was like, okay. And I mean, like, they talking about, like, this shit leads to a fucking YouTube channel. Like, this led to random coordinates in, like, some fucking, like, random fucking foreign area.
Yeah, I mean, if it's Bray, cool. It's a cool way to do it. I just don't expect him because we've been down this road so many times since he left, where it's like, oh, that's a hint to Bray Wyatt, and it turns out to be, like, fucking... I don't know, Chad Gable or some shit, and I'm like, what the fuck?
If it's fucking Chad Gable,
you get my point. But it's like something that's like, oh well, okay.
No, and this is the thing. Like I said, I was gonna say. So the way they're building up to it, I'm loving. I'm loving the way they're building up to it because we haven't seen this in a long time for them putting this much effort into shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like people said at house shows, they randomly would just like start playing White Rabbit by Jefferson Airplane out of nowhere. Consistently, people noticed it before they started doing this shit. And I'm loving the build up to it. I'm with you though, that we've been kind of jaded from WWE gotcha booking too much, that we all want this to be Bray. And we've seen the track record of the Triple H era bringing back the stars who shouldn't have got released.
Yeah.
So all signs point to Bray, but I've been kind of thinking, what if it's not Bray? And then I've also been thinking too, it's not just the gotcha shit, but I've also been thinking too that again, us as wrestling fans, it would be smart for it to be Bray and the way it's been built up and everything, but nothing officially said it was Bray.
Yeah.
So unless it's just some straight stupid shit, if it's not Bray, but it's like a good substitute, we don't necessarily have a right to be that pissed, like, to an extent.
Yeah. Because
I do know us as fans, we will like get ourselves into this whole build up of the rumor mill. It has to be so and so. So when it's not, now we're mad. It's like nothing said.
It happens in wrestling with return theories. It happens with
that was gonna be
happens with anime and manga, like One Piece. It happens with One Piece theories, where the people will theorize something for 20 years, and then once the answer finally comes around, that doesn't make any sense, even though it may make sense to the story. But no, it was supposed to be this. No, you said it was this. Yeah. No one said it was that. You said that that's the conclusion you came to, but this is the writer's story, so I'm going with what the writer says.
And that's the big thing. That's part of what I've been thinking too, is like, of course, all signs are pointing to Bray. Even this fucking crazy twisting road of these hints are pointing to Bray. Because, who would be this fucking elaborate and cryptic?
Mm-hmm.
But as long as it makes sense and it's a good substitute, just for it not being Bray, there's no reason for us to be this mad. But people are going to be pissed.
Oh, yeah.
If it is Bray, I can't wait to see his ass back. And I can't wait to see what incarnation he does. Because we all know the original Bray slash the Eater of World Bray, like, that was good. Then the Firefly Funhouse that became the Fiend, that was amazing. So, reinventing, talk about Jericho reinventing. I can't wait to see whatever this fucking weird Alice in Wonderland, White Rabbit, whatever shit is going to be possibly. So, yeah. If this is Bray, I can't wait to see it. If it's not Bray, I just hope that it's a good substitute. Because don't give me no fucking gobbledygooker, goddamn. Wait, what's an egg? And it's like a goddamn turkey that's gonna dance with, what was it, Hector Guerrero?
Yeah, it could just be a gobbledygooker situation. Maybe it's Hornswoggle, in a bunny outfit.
I'd be so mad. It's the anonymous Raw GM laptop.
Exactly.
It's like all of a sudden it's like, who's the White Rabbit? And you just hear doodling, doodling. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a message. I have been the White Rabbit. And then it would be Hornswoggle eventually, because Hornswoggle was the anonymous GM.
Yep. I wonder who it was originally meant to be.
I forgot who they said it was supposed to be.
Because I highly doubt it was Hornswoggle.
No, Hornswoggle is like sometimes like we need a way out. Because
no, he's the same thing with the Vince McMahon bastard son thing.
I was about to say the son. It was supposed to be Ken Kennedy, but
The one running around yelling yelling Vince McMahon's middle name as his own.
well, and then there was one episode where he said, "Yeah, Dad," and like patted him on the back. So it was like, yeah, but I forgot what they said happened. I think that he like, I don't want to say failed a wellness policy. I don't think that was it.
Wait, who?
Ken Kennedy.
Oh, I heard he pissed off Randy.
Well, I know he pissed off Randy in a match, but I was that before or after the Sun thing? That might have been it. Was he was wrestling in a match?
Because he got fired.
Well, he got fired because of pissed off Randy.
That's what I'm saying, and he got fired, so he wasn't around to be the Sun.
Oh, I see. I thought that he got taken out of the storyline before he got fired.
No, I think he just got fired because of that, because
WWE
likes to act like people don't exist once they're fired.
Yeah, well then there you go. So he it was gonna be Ken Kennedy, but yeah, it was a match. And first of all, the match was bad. I understand.
Oh, I don't remember the match where he pissed off Randy. I'm not trying to go.
I don't. No, I'm saying I don't remember the like full whereabouts, but I remember it was like, I understand Vince was mad. They were supposed to be in like some arena or whatever, but then the Lakers ended up swooping in and taking the position from them at the last second.
Oh, so, that's Denver or whatever. They're supposed to be at Staples.
The Nuggets and the Lakers, and it was like the Eagles were the Lakers and the Nuggets, something like that. And it was like Enos Kroenke was like the one that was like in charge of it. So they scrapped the storyline that night, and then Vince pretty much just shat on Enos and his team, and it was like 5-on-5, and they had on like Laker and Nuggets jerseys. So yeah, but then he went out there and he did like a move on somebody, and apparently it was unsafe. I don't know, whatever, probably not. Randy went to the back. Randy got pulled. Randy said he's not safe. Then there you go. So
yeah.
But anyway, no. If this is any, like I said, if this is anyone but Bray, as long as it's a good substitute, I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
If it is, I swear, bro, if motherfucker walk out with a goddamn fucking cloak and in his face, oh my god.
He just walks out in a bunny outfit and then takes the head off at his Vince. It's me, Vince. Oh, son of a bitch. It was me all along. I did it again. I did it again. I'm a billionaire, damn it. You can't cancel Vincent Kennedy McMahon.
Well, he gonna drop an F. Yeah, that'd be the only time Vince ever just straight up dropped the F-bomb. Right? I did it fucking right.
Outside of fucking Pat McAfee's show.
Well, I mean, like,
yeah, I know. On WWE
programming.
Yeah. But I hadn't even seen that many interviews where he's like dropping F-bombs. That's the thing. That's why it was so different.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? What do you think about Sami Zayn officially becoming an honorary Uso? Because the whole time he was an honorary Uso, but now it's like official with a T-shirt and everything.
Cool.
I think it's cool. A lot of people are like saying, and again, admittedly, as we have said on this show, y'all, we watch AEW, we watch Ish, and just keep up with WWE. So
I don't think we've insulted it too much this time.
No, I'm just saying. So I don't know everything that's been happening in WWE is what I'm getting at.
Oh,
but what I'm saying is, everybody's saying that Sami Zayn is doing some of his best work right now, and a lot of people are saying that like Sami Zayn is like one of the people like pretty much next up in the company, like person to watch for and next up and shit like that. So I'm happy that he's finally like really getting his just due type shit. I mean, of course you have other people who are there too, but Sammy is like also showcasing from what I've been hearing. So you have thoughts?
Maybe, but I don't see Sammy being the next biggest star in the company and nothing. I think the man's like, ain't he already in his 40s?
I think so.
Yeah. So he's just kind of enjoying the latter years of his wrestling. I don't think he's gonna be the next big. Oh, now we're talking about 3-year champion Sami Zayn or shit like that.
38.
38. Okay. So still got time, but
Late 38 is almost.
But I don't really see him as the young up and comer because he's still old and been here a minute. Like, I see him as the old, been here a minute, now he gets to have fun every week with this storyline. I don't know who they're picking next because Lord knows. If you're to believe the rumor mills, the plan still seemed like Roman and all the other guys are gonna just win all the belts and hold them till at least WrestleMania, if not later. When inevitably The Rock once again says, "I don't wanna," which apparently is the main reason it's gone on this long, is they keep trying to wait for Rocket Mania moments, according to rumors.
Yeah. According to rumors, but according to rumors, yeah, because they want it to be whenever he finally says yes, they want it to be Rock versus Roman, right? They want it to be cousin versus cousin, Rock versus Roman. You know, you said this in the past one time, which I think is so funny though. Is like whenever two of the top stars kind of have a little like promo battle, and then one of them talks about the other one leaving to go to Hollywood. But then they end up doing it anyway.
Yeah.
And like Cena did it to The Rock, Roman did it to Cena, and now Roman's about to go to Hollywood.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what the hell, bro? So then now whoever the next top person is going to be, then when Roman becomes a part-timer and he comes back, then that person's going to be like, you're not even here every week, I am.
Yeah.
And then there you go. Because all signs are pointing to Roman is about to probably go to Hollywood. Like, he's going to hold the title for a minute. Then he's going to go to Hollywood. He's going to really build his name up. He's going to come back and probably be part-time with it. One thing that is funny that I didn't know, shout out to Big Bro, is Ibn said that if Cena doesn't wrestle a match before the year is out, he said this will be the first year since John Cena debuted that he hasn't wrestled at least one match.
Really?
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That'd be 02. That'd be 20 years that this dude, if he doesn't wrestle a match this year, then that'll be 20 years, take 1 year off. So 19 years straight, this dude would have had at least one in-ring match.
Damn.
That's
crazy.
Fucking crazy.
That is crazy.
Nuts.
That's longevity.
Fuck yeah. And I mean, I've said before, I I respect Cena so much more now than I did then when he was Super Cena. Super Cena era was not, but whatever. Well, I guess we're wrapping up, winding down.
Yeah, not too much crazy to talk about this month.
Oh yeah, I mean, I thought we would have had more with the whole Brawl out gripe bomb, but I guess it's more straightforward. So.
Yeah,
it's more straightforward.
It was more of a work than it. And now it very well may be serious. Right. Yeah, it very well may be serious. But at this point, I just assume like 90% of the stuff that comes out of AEW is a work. Because that's just how they run things.
Now, here's a question I got, right? A lot of people say that, and I agree, I don't think it's bad. Well, people say that AEW's booking is pretty predictable to an extent. I don't have a problem with it. Like, you can kind of tell, like, we knew the Acclaimed was going to get the title. We know eventually, we knew Mox was probably going to get the title to hold for Danielson. We knew that MJF was going to return and be the Joker. Shit like that. Like, you know, to an extent, where they're kind of going with these stories. I don't have a problem with it because I think they build it up so good, so it's predictable. But then we just talked
I'm about to say, the only way you're going to get your whole unpredictability is they just start making decisions for no reason that they didn't set up a story for, and then you're going to be like, these stories make no sense, the booking doesn't make sense. So you can't say the booking doesn't make sense because I can predict it and then say it doesn't make sense because I can't. Like, that's what you're going to do. It just goes back to people being mad for no reason.
They mad just because it's free. Like I say, people complain because it's free.
Insert person here needs a belt. Get a belt. Okay, cool. This person here needs a belt. That person gets the belt. Why are they hot potatoing this championship?
Or this person needs a belt, and then they're like, why haven't they put the belt on them? Why haven't they put the belt on? Why haven't they? And they finally put the belt on them, and then like a week or two later, they had the belt too long. Yeah, it's like, the fuck. Like, they just got the bitch. What you mean they had it too long? You were talking about why they go so long without giving it to them, and now they can't have it? Like, yeah, no, I'm with you. But I was gonna say, so people say AEW booking might be a little predictable, and then we just talk about how WWE kind of got ingrained, somewhat gotcha booking. So what is the middle ground? I just think it's kind of funny. I don't have a problem with AEW.
Probably New Japan, because I never hear anybody complain about it.
Big facts. Because I don't have a problem with AEW's booking being somewhat predictable, because anything in entertainment, sometimes a little bit of fan service is okay.
I've watched too many movies and too many shows and too many animes to not try to instinctively try to predict stuff. Hoping that I'm pleasantly surprised, or that at least if I'm not surprised, it's at least done in a cool fashion. But like, you gotta realize, the more shit you watch, the more you're just going to notice patterns in things. Right.
Like, again, we've talked about on the main podcast on this channel. Shout out to this guy hasn't seen on your channel, feogrande, but watch a lot of movies. Kind of notice patterns with movies. So.
Well, and hell, we mentioned it with the Daniel Garcia thing. You were talking about it. It's AEW's most captivating thing on the scene right now. And then I came back and was like, yeah, but I've seen it twice in AEW already.
In AEW, right.
It's just how these things go. Of course he's going to eventually pick the side of good. It's a heel faction asking him this question.
And this is the thing. If he doesn't pick the side of good after all this buildup, then it would feel like they dropped the ball because of what was the build-up for. So yeah, I agree. Right, I agree with you. Okay, who? Well, you already answered that question. I was gonna say, who do you think would be the next person to take it off of Roman? But you already answered that question.
Nobody.
Yeah, because we saw what happened with Drew.
Yeah,
where he's like, I knew I lost, but let's sing about it. If you don't get your bitch, I'm sorry. I like you, Drew.
Apparently, that was not his thing, and they also apparently weren't supposed to still be live. I think that was more of a Tyson thing, and then
apparently Tyson Fury at the end of a lot of his matches will sing or whatever. They weren't supposed to still be live. Is funny because. Yeah. They say that would have been just for the home crowd to send them home happy, which I can see. Why they kept filming it made Drew look kind of like a little wimp, if I'm being honest. But if they weren't supposed to still be live, that would have been much better. Because then it would have just been squash by Roman, damn that sucks, we're off. Not squash by Roman, damn that sucks. But it's okay, guys. I got a song in my heart. So anyway. All right, as we close out, as we always do, who's going to be the next person to get the AEW World Championship?
I don't think Punk's coming back soon. I'll just say MJF.
I think the next person to get it is going to be Danielson.
Okay.
I think signs are building up to Danielson. And they've already fought each other. The BCC started with them fighting each other. So I think it'll be Danielson. Of course, we got Tony with the interim while Thunder Rosa still nurses her injury. But who's going to be the next one to be the main AEW Women's World Champion?
I have no fucking clue, man. I say either they give it back to Thunder or Tony holds it for a while.
I say that Thunder comes back and officially wins it from Tony.
Riho.
I mean, she did have it at one point.
She was the first.
There you go. And she had the title. She had the smaller title.
Yeah. Well, that's why it was smaller.
AEW TNT Championship. If they actually do something with it on Wardlow. God. Anyway, I don't know anybody who is like necessarily in line that could probably take it off of Wardlow. Wardlow ain't done too many defenses with it anyway. He ain't even customized it yet. Customize it. Every AEW TNT champion except Cody, which makes sense, but every AEW TNT champion customized the belt to some extent. Yeah, like what was it? Miro put the Bulgarian flag on it. Scorpio Sky put the Lakers colors. I forget what the other people like Darby did, but everybody put some type of spin on it.
True.
And it's like Wardlow is just wearing a generic title. Like,
but it's also Wardlow, and his character may not care about such things. I just thought it was funny when it was FTR and Wardlow versus somebody.
Yeah, it was a triple threat. I think it was.
Yeah, when Wardlow got tagged in the ring, but Ruben like, well, he's just gonna kill the other team. And then Ruben brought up the point like, this man won a beat 20 people match. No, this man beat 20 people. It was a beat 20 people match, and he beat 20 people. Yes, they were scrubs, but nonetheless, this is a man who walked in a ring in a beat 20 people match and won.
And he whooped ass so much that the announcer couldn't keep track of how many people he was beating. It was like 2, 3, wait, 8, wait.
Yeah, it's like, nah, this man won a beat 20 people match. So I have no idea. I'd say he holds on to it for a minute. I don't know. I would say
probably hold on to it. If anybody like would take it off of him, could take it off of him, possibly should, maybe Orange Cassidy, but I don't think Orange Cassidy should go for a title at all, or if he does, it should be the main one.
Yeah.
I'd say he holds on to it. Another person who I say will hold on to it is Jade needs to
keep
his title for a while.
Clearly. That's not going anywhere anytime soon.
And it shouldn't. The only person that should put up some fight for her is the person who was doing that before she got injured, which was Statler.
Yeah.
But no, Jade does not need to lose that title. She makes the title look good. The title makes her look good. They don't need to part ways from each other right now. The AEW All-Atlantic Championship. I thought it was a little weird that Orange Cassidy challenged for this because at first, with the name and how it was brought with the tournament, it seemed like this was for foreigners.
I mean, how many American European champions have we had?
This is true. I'm just saying for it to just start. And, you had Malachi Black, Netherlands. You had, I forget which one, but one of the Lucha brothers was challenging for it. Ethan Page is from Canada. So everybody was foreign. I think even Miro was in there. So then Orange Cassidy, I was like, that's a little different than what I expected. So the next one, for me, and I'm not holding to this. It's not that serious. But for me, honestly, I kind of want Pac to hold on to it for a minute anyway. But if Pac was to lose it, I would just want it to be somebody who was just foreign born. That's all. Just for the sake of how I see it in my head. But I don't really care that much.
Yeah. I don't think they need to be foreign because if you're going foreign just because it's called All Atlantic, I mean,
how it started.
America shares about as much Atlantic that Canada has, which is one coast. So if Canada can count for All Atlantic, there's no reason we shouldn't. That's it, or Mexico for that matter.
Thanks.
That said, I don't know, Miro. Get this man, put some kind of strap on.
Miro needs some
Claudio.
Yeah, let Claudio have that motherfucker. I will say this though, I won't feel this way, but some fans are gonna be like, "You took the main Ring of Honor title off Claudio and then put the All Atlantic on." Somebody gonna have a fucking bitch fest about that. But I think that All Atlantic on Claudio, that's actually, I agree with you. That would be a good call. The AEW World Tag Team Championship with the Acclaim. If FTR doesn't end the year with the AEW tag titles, what was it for?
Yep. You said this on the past few shows, so yeah, I can see that.
And we have what is it, Full Gear, November like 19th or some shit like that, mid-November.
Okay.
That's the last WWE, AEW pay-per-view. So we can let the Acclaimed hold these titles for a while so they don't be transitional. They shouldn't be transitional. Hold the titles for a while. But if FTR doesn't end 2022 with these titles, what was the purpose of them winning every other title?
Fair. And I'd be fine with the Acclaimed being transitional. Well, that's just because while I like the Acclaimed and I think they're funny, I don't see them as that team.
I mean, I love them. Just, yeah.
That's why I'm like, I'm fine if the Acclaim are transitional. But if they're not, that's cool too. If anybody would be transitional tag champs, I'd say the Acclaimed would be a good example of that. It'd be the same things if the Best Friends happened to win it. I would expect them to lose that pretty soon.
Unfortunately, yeah. The AEW World Trios Championship right now, Death Triangle has it, which I forgot they did, but Death Triangle has it. I say that if they were to lose it, so far, a lot of these titles, and it's probably just because of how All Out went and then transitioned to Grand Slam, where a lot of people won titles freshly from Grand Slam, so we're kind of not far removed from people just winning. I kind of don't necessarily need people to lose titles right now, but if they were to lose, Cassidy and Best Friends, if they were to lose, just because they've been having a back and forth.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't need them to lose it.
I can see that.
And then, of course, the FTW Championship, Hook, FTW Championship is kind of an afterthought. But not an afterthought, but I mean, kind of
come on now. Are we going to really complain about FTW title not being taken seriously?
I wasn't going to say afterthought. Afterthought was misspoken. I was going to say it's kind of a made-up championship is what I meant.
Yes!
So what I was going to say, but they've been treating it realistically. They've been actually having like actual matches.
That's part of the gag, but it is a made-up championship. Yeah. It's literally Taz's custom championship.
Like fucking from ECW, talking about fuck the world, yeah. I mean, again, I don't need Hook to lose it.
No.
Hook makes the title look good. The title makes him look good. So I don't need him to lose it. If he was going to lose it,
I have no fucking idea, man.
Again, like, who kind of embodies fuck the world more than Hook? So I don't know. So yeah, hold on to it.
He's busy having tag team matches with Action Bronson now.
I know, what the hell? And Action Bronson embodies fuck the world. So there you go. Shit. All in all, man, again, it was a crazy month, but it wasn't anything that we couldn't kind of finish talking about in a short span. Yeah. That's the funniest thing about it. Because I swear I was like, before we recorded this, I was like, oh, man, we probably gonna have a long conversation about what happened, and Pete gonna have a lot of shit to say. He's like, no, this is my feelings.
I mean, what do you want to say?
Which is fine. I just thought we were gonna have a lot to say, and we don't. So I mean, yeah. All things being said, if you would like to keep the discussion going, then please leave us a comment down below, and we will of course read it. And hopefully, if we're not too busy, we will get back to you, and we can keep this discussion going. Unfortunately, I used to not ask y'all to subscribe and hit notification bells and all that shit. But for some reason, our viewer count is getting low. I don't know if it's shadow banned or what the hell is going on. So not just commenting, but also hit the notification bell and subscribe, like all that good shit that YouTubers actually say. That being said, if you would like to follow us on our respective socials, then you can go ahead and follow yours truly under the name Superjaz, which is spelled Superjaz. Anywhere you stream your music, I am a rapper, so you can go ahead and look me up. Look for the debut solo album I dropped last year, My Secret Identity. You may have to put in Superjaz, My Secret Identity, since I'm not so famous yet. Also, if you want to go ahead, you can find me on Twitter under the handle Superjaz2, which would be Superjaz2. And of course, you can go ahead and look me up and find and follow me on Instagram under the name Forever Superjaz. The word forever, of course, spelled correctly. Where can they find you?
Well, first off, they can find me here every week, every Wednesday on the Whatever We Want podcast, as well as every first Sunday of each month. You can also find me elsewhere on YouTube under feogrande, that is Feo Grande. Now, a podcast over there. We're talking about movies and stuff that this guy hasn't seen. Talking about movies with a good friend of mine, Bill Smith. You can also find me on Twitter and Twitch at Giotavi. That is Giotavi. Come on in. Stop on by. Should be playing a lot of God of War this month, provided, schedules align well enough. But yeah.
Because the new God of War is supposed to be
in November.
Yeah, word. And I know how much you love God of War, so yeah. Well, yeah, hey, we will see y'all a month from now in November, and basically see the more the goings on in wrestling, and you can hear two lifelong best friends do what wrestling fans do best and give their unwarranted opinions about what's been happening in the wrestling world. All in all, hope you all enjoy watching, and we love y'all and see y'all next time. See y'all in about 30 days.
Adiosness. Adiosness.